Hello everyone and welcome to the Wild West of America. Now, don't let these images fool you. We don't ride horses all day long. It is not really the Wild West. This is just footage from the Cave Creek Rodeo Days Parade. I thought that it's super nice and you should see it, so I included it. And for those of you who don't know me and are new to my channel, I mostly do exploration videos, and the vast majority are from Arizona, as this is my home. So if you're interested to see the beautiful nature and lifestyle of our state, please consider subscribing to my channel. So a few of you asked me to do a pros and cons video about Arizona. Well, this is not so much pros and cons, but more or less my advice to those who are planning on moving to Arizona or have just moved to Arizona. It's about my experiences and what I've learned having lived here for over 21 years and having driven over 1 million miles, 1.2 million miles to be exact, from North Scottsdale to Buckeye and from Northwest Peoria all the way down to the Superstition Mountains and everything in between. Some of the things I'm going to talk about in this video. I will talk about buying a home in Arizona and how I think one should go about it, and the things you should take under consideration, things like traffic, your age, your family size, etc. I will talk about the utilities cost and their relation to the weather in Arizona. I will talk about some of the laws in Arizona that I think are very important for newcomers to be aware of, a bit about rattlesnakes and scorpions and other lovely creatures, some do's and some don'ts, some money-saving shopping tips, and some life-saving tips. So let's jump right into it. I'm going to start with buying a home in Arizona. My advice is not to buy a home right away. Rent for about a month and take your time driving around and exploring. Here is my reasoning. Think about why you're moving to Arizona. Is it to raise a family? And if so, how long are you willing to sit in traffic driving to and from work? Is it to retire? And if so, just how much does golf matter to you? Or are you a young single person and the club scene is super important to you? Nothing wrong with that. I was a young person once. I was living near the nightclubs. So let's talk about traffic. The morning rush hour traffic in Phoenix starts at 5:30 a.m. and it lasts until 9 a.m. The afternoon rush hour traffic starts at 3 p.m. and it lasts until 6:30 p.m. And those hours do not apply to I-10. I-10 traffic starts at 4 a.m. and it lasts until 8 p.m., sometimes even later than that. And if you get a job in downtown Phoenix, any of the family-friendly neighborhoods will be at least 50 minutes away. Now, there is a hope, and I will talk about it in my Arizona Laws segment. Next, very important, especially if you're going to raise a family. Research what the crime rate is in each city or town. Some are safer than others. For example, the further north you get into Cave Creek, Carefree, and North Scottsdale, the lower the crime rate is. The further south you go into Phoenix, the higher it is. The southern part of the I-17 corridor is just a killer. And I was truly surprised about Mesa. I had no idea Mesa has such a high crime rate because they have some beautiful neighborhoods there. I will link this website in the description so you can zoom in and look at detail the actual streets you're considering buying a home on. Also, if you have kids, think about what schools you want them to attend and if the schools have bus system, and if they don't, how long it's going to take you to drive them to and from school every single day, well, 5 days a week. Now, you should think about how much it's going to cost you extra in gas and wear and tear on your vehicle every year, because you might buy a $250,000 home versus $300,000 home, but when you add the gas, the tires, the oil changes, the belts, the batteries, and the miles you're going to put on your car, and I'm not even talking about the time wasted sitting in traffic, we're talking a whole different math. That brings me to the next point. What is your budget? Obviously, like everywhere else, here in Arizona, you can buy a $150,000 home and you can buy a $1 million home, depending on the neighborhood. And it's pretty much you get what you pay for. So generally, for example, I'm gonna go the high end right now. Paradise Valley, it's pretty much off limits if you're a middle-class American, because the median home price there is close to $2 million, $1.8 million to be exact. Yes, there is no crime and you're close to everything, but it comes at a cost. One of my favorite neighborhoods, Arcadia. Arcadia is a bit better price-wise, well, quite a bit better price-wise, and it is very family-friendly and close to downtown Phoenix, close to Old Town Scottsdale. However, the homes there are a bit older because Arcadia is one of the oldest neighborhoods in the valley. But in my opinion, it is the most beautiful neighborhood. There are many other areas, obviously. You just have to do your research and find the happy medium, considering traffic, safety, and home prices. Find a good realtor. These days, everyone is a realtor or knows one. I know a lot of them. However, I'm not one. But if you need recommendations, please send me an email or direct message on Facebook, and I will get you in touch with a reliable realtor. I will put links to those in the description section below the video. And by the way, if you're interested in seeing certain things around town, let me know in the comments and I will film them for you. I'm all over town pretty much all the time. Now, if you're retiring and looking to relocate, the same thing applies to you folks. And if you're a golfer, there is plenty to choose from. Arizona has over 300 golf courses, and I believe about 180 of them are in the Phoenix metro area. You just have to decide how much you want to spend and choose your location. We also have many communities here that are listed as 55 and older, so you don't have to deal with the nightclub young crowd. By the way, when I first moved to Arizona, I was living in Old Town Scottsdale, and as I got older, I kept moving north about 5 miles every 5 years, and now I'm being pushed into the mountains and I'm kind of sort of running out of space. Okay, the young people, the millennials. Now, if you're a very young single person who loves nightlife, I would suggest moving to Old Town Scottsdale, where the bar and the nightlife scene is, because you do not want to drink and drive. I repeat, you do not want to drink and drive in Arizona. If this is the only thing you get from this video, let that be it. Don't drink and drive in Arizona. It's going to destroy your life. But I will talk about this in the Arizona laws section. As far as utilities, they add quite a bit to your monthly expenses. I hear a lot of people say, oh, it's only 3 months out of the year. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but it is not. We start turning the AC on in early April, sometimes even March. As soon as the temperatures start climbing into the mid-80s, you will find yourself needing the AC. And in September, the temperatures are still well into the hundreds. So if you're lucky, you still have at least 5 months of heavy AC use. But I'll just give you the numbers based on different size homes I lived in over the years. So, a studio apartment. I used to pay about $35 per month in winter months and about $70 per month in the summer months. Keep in mind that was 20 years ago. The one-bedroom apartment I lived in, I was paying $40 per month in the winter and around $100 in the summer. And then when I moved to a two-bedroom condo, I was paying the same prices for electricity, but that condo was surrounded by other condos on all other sides, and it was facing east. So I had no southern exposure and I had no western exposure. Plus, in that condo, all my major appliances ran on gas, not on electricity. So just keep that in mind. And currently, in a 4-bedroom, southeast facing house with a family room and a living room with a pool and 100% electric appliances, the winter months our bill is around $95, and April through September months are anywhere from $250 to $420 per month. In the tips part of this video, I will tell you how we actually are able to make it easier on ourselves during those expensive summer months. But that's later. So when you're buying a home, be mindful of the direction your home is facing. East would be best. Also keep in mind that the further north your home is, the cooler it gets. The change in temperature here is about 3.5 degrees per 1,000 feet in elevation increase. And also, if your home is in a building in downtown Phoenix, one of the high-rise condo buildings, it will be way hotter than anywhere else in the valley, as you have all the concrete radiating heat at night. Now, there is an expense in the winter as well. You will be using your heater, I can guarantee you that. Even if we have one of those majestic winters where every day it's 75 degrees, the nights still cool down quite a bit and you need to turn on the heater. And if there is a winter like the one we just had, you will need to heat up your home during the day as well. So here, our gas company here, it's Southwest, and the gas bill during the summer, it's only about $35 a month. But in the winter, it's anywhere from $120 to $200. This winter, I had a couple of bills that were $196. Moving along, as far as the internet, I recommend Cox Gigablast 100%. It is fast, especially if you're watching Netflix or if you're streaming your TV channels. And if you're like me uploading large video files, Cox Gigablast is a must. I love it. With that said, let's talk about some of the laws you should be aware of. I will start with the HOV lane on all major highways. HOV stands for High Occupancy Vehicle, so Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. until 9 a.m. and from 3 p.m. until 7 p.m. this lane is off limits for you if you're driving in a car by yourself. Unless you're driving an electric vehicle like Toyota Prius or Tesla. You do have to apply for a special blue plate with the Arizona Department of Transportation, and I will put a link down in the description section where you can do that. So that 50-minute commute I was just talking about, all of a sudden becomes 30-minute commute. And if you don't have an electric vehicle, don't cheat. Just give yourself enough time. Looking in your rear view mirror won't help because we have a lot of undercover police vehicles cruising around just looking for you, especially during those rush hour traffic hours. The police have seen it all and have heard it all, and they are unforgiving. The fine, I believe, it's close to $500. Speaking of registration and plates, make sure to transfer your plate right away. Yes, plates are expensive in Arizona, and the fee depends on how old your vehicle is. For example, our 2012 Chevy was $250 in 2018, and our 2018 car was $730 in 2018 and $680 in 2019, and that's an annual fee, it's not monthly. But trust me, it's money well spent. You will be driving on the smoothest, most beautiful roads ever, and you will be saving money on blown tires and shock repairs because virtually there are no potholes here. Another traffic law you should be aware of is the texting and driving law that was just passed and will go into effect in January of 2021. Don't ask me why that long. The bill bans any driver from using or even just holding a phone or any other electronic devices while in motion. This includes texting, calling, and watching and recording videos, unfortunately for me. But hey, it is what it is. I'm not gonna break the law. I'm gonna buy something that I can mount my camera to in the car. Continuing with the traffic laws. When you drive here, pay close attention to school zones and construction zones with special speed limit restrictions. The ticket for speeding in a construction zone, when the workers are presented, automatically doubles in dollar value. So if normally the ticket is $150, if there are workers on the road, it's going to be $300 automatically. There is no arguing about it. And don't speed in general. I'm not sure about school zones, if it doubles or not, but just don't speed. And for those of you who have a light foot, I just want to let you know that we have speeding cameras on a lot of the major intersections and also mobile ones on the side of the road. So just don't speed. So I'm not going to spend much time on the DUI law, as I know most of you are very responsible drivers, but just a couple of pointers. The legal limit here in Arizona is anything less than 0.08 blood alcohol level. Anything above that will give you, number one, 10 days in jail, a $1,500 fine plus jail cost plus $80 for monitoring fee. You will have to undergo counseling. Your driver license will be suspended for 90 days and a device will be installed on your car. Basically, the car won't start unless you blow in a thing. You don't want that. I don't think anybody wants that. Just don't drink and drive. That's it. And by the way, this is the least severe punishment. It only gets worse from there. It's not worth it. Oh, and your car insurance will go through the roof, and with certain jobs you could lose your certification. So don't drink and drive at all. I quit drinking altogether. Better safe than sorry. Alright, here is a sensitive one for you. Gun ownership. In Arizona, having passed a universal background check, law-abiding gun owners can carry a concealed weapon without a permit. Just for those of you who wanted to let you know. And another law before I move to the fun part, snakes and scorpions, is the stupid motorist law. So in Arizona, after heavy rains, we then get flash floods, and because the roads follow the topography of the land, water runs across the major roads. And if any motorist becomes stranded after driving around barricades to enter a flooded road, they will be responsible for the cost of their rescue. How wonderful is that? If you see a flash flood, be very careful if there are no barricades yet, and if there are, just wait it out or turn around and find another road. It's not worth it. It is gonna cost you a lot if you go around the barricades and get stranded in deep waters. And you forget about the money. You can drown easily here. There are places that could happen, and it had happened in the past. All right, let's talk about snakes and scorpions and other creatures. I will start by stating that I am yet to see a rattlesnake chasing someone across a parking lot. Okay, they won't chase you. They have zero interest chasing you. You just have to see them before it's too late. Don't think that the rattle is your warning. If you hear the rattle, that usually means that it's too late. Rattlesnakes see us as predators and are quiet so they don't attract our attention. And this is the reason you have to always pay attention between April and September. Rattlesnakes are most active coming out of the winter season because they're super hungry and they go out and look for food. And if you're on a hike during warm months, look down when walking. Don't stare at the sky and the cacti. Look down, and every now and then stop and look around. But to be honest with you, I don't see very many hikers between May and, well, this year May is nice, but usually these months, the hotter it gets, the less hikers you see out there. I do have quite a few videos about my hikes in Cave Creek, so if you're interested in seeing them, just explore my channel, or I can also link them down in the description section. Pretty interesting hikes, I think you will enjoy them. But don't you worry, I doubt you will see any snakes in the city and heavily populated areas. I moved to Arizona in 1998 and I didn't see a single rattlesnake unless I was out in nature until I moved north of Pinnacle Peak Road in 2013. We moved to our house in October, and sure enough, in early April there was one rattlesnake in our backyard. Since then, I've seen many and I have rescued a few. As far as scorpions, spray your home at least twice a year and get a black light, which is actually fun. You go out in the dark to look for scorpions and they glow. And any Home Depot, any Lowe's store, any hardware store, you can get a black light from there. And my warning as far as scorpions is that if you see a rubber band on the floor, don't pick it up unless you just dropped one. The bark scorpions do like little rubber bands, and they're more poisonous than the bigger ones, so be careful. Just don't pick up anything from the floor unless you just dropped it. Here in Arizona you will also come across what it's called javelinas. And don't approach them ever. They have babies that look cute to some people. Don't. They're very aggressive and will attack you, especially if they have little ones with them. Although they don't look very big, they're pretty strong because I've seen them knock down trash cans to dig in the trash for food. So just be careful with them. And coyotes are a very common sight to see as well. Don't feed them and keep your dogs and cats on a leash and indoors because they will attack them if you have a small dog. And if you're moving to North Scottsdale, Carefree, and Cave Creek, chances are you will see bobcats quite often too. I've had bobcats moving into my backyard. Well, one of them, but he was trying to sleep in my tomatoes. But it's not all that bad. You will see some real beauties as well. I filmed this in Cave Creek a couple of days after we got snow, so be mindful of the fact that those animals are part of our lives and be respectful and patient. And speaking of things on the road, please always watch for motorcycles. Our almost 365 days beautiful weather makes Arizona a very desirable destination for bikers from all over the country. Also, there are horse ranches spread throughout the valley, and it is not uncommon to see horseback riders along the road. So just pay attention, enjoy the beauty, but look out for other things on the road as well. So we're at the money saving tips, and my number one advice is in regard to your windshield. Because there is so much construction going on in Arizona and because of the gravel-like landscapes, there are a lot of pebbles on the road, which results in cracked windshields. My advice is to talk to your insurance agent and make sure to get the zero deductible glass coverage box checked for in your policy. I just replaced the windshield that if I didn't have the coverage, it would have cost me over $1,300. As far as I know, most vehicles in Arizona automatically get the no-cost windshield protection, but you better check with your insurance company just to be safe. So, my electricity tip. As I said, in the summer months, my APS bill could get as high as $420 a month. So APS offers different money-saving plans. For example, my electricity is at a very high rate Monday through Friday between noon and 8 p.m. and very cheap from 8 p.m. until noon the following day. So I do all my laundry and cooking between 8 p.m. and noon the next day, and the weekends are always at the cheap rate. So talk to an employee at APS or phone operator and see what plan would work best for you based on your schedule. We also enrolled in a program called Equilibrium. They take your cost for the entire year, and if you're buying a home, they can look what the previous family paid for this home. So they take all these numbers for the whole year, add them up together, and then divide them by 12, and they come up with a flat rate each month that you have to pay. For example, ours is $201 every month. So not bad. At least in the summer I don't have these $420, $430 bills. It makes it much easier. Another money saving tip is to turn the flame on your water heater way down in the summer, because water heaters are usually in your garage, and in your garage in the summer it's probably 200 degrees Fahrenheit, so you don't really need that flame to be blasting all the time. So another thing about Arizona that you may not know, cars do get very dusty here. It's dusty all the time. I will dust the furniture in my house and the windows are closed, and within 24 hours everything gets dusty again. It's just because we're in a desert. So you will have to wash your car quite often, way more often than you did in your home state. But here's what I do. I pay $19.99, so $19.99 per month for unlimited car washes with Cobblestone. So you pay them once a month and you go through the drive-through car wash, and you can go as many as 2 times a day, I think. I don't know. I never push the limits. I usually just wash the car a couple of times, 3 times a week. But they also have free vacuums and free towels, so pretty good deal considering that a single car wash will cost you at least $3.99. So for $20 you can wash it 60 times if you wanted to. I wouldn't recommend it, but it's a good thing to know. And the cheapest gas in town, of course, is at Costco. Get a Costco card. Here everybody has a Costco card. I don't think there is a single Arizonan that doesn't have one. And gas, it's way cheaper than at the regular gas stations. As far as grocery shopping, if you're an Amazon Prime member, well, Whole Foods already has gotten really cheap and they have really good produce and meat. But also, if you're Amazon Prime member, you get additional discounts, and they have different weeks, they have different things on sale, and you get additional 10% off. When we're talking about meat, it adds up really quickly. So the discounts they usually have are on meat and dairy products. And if you're not an Amazon Prime member, I'm gonna put a link down in the description section as well for that. And if you're a smoker, I recommend you stop smoking. But just a tip. I'm not judging. This is just a tip. But the cigarettes are about 40% cheaper at the gas stations that are on the Native Americans' land. So, for example, near 101 in Via de Ventura, near 101 in McKellips, all these gas stations, you will figure it out. And now I'm done to the 3 most important tips in this video, the 3 most important ones, or the 3 most important things that I have to say, however you want to look at it. Number 1. Drink a gallon of water during the summer months. If you want to be healthy and well, drink a gallon of water. Here you will get dehydrated and you wouldn't even know it because you don't sweat. Here it's so dry that your sweat evaporates before you even sweat it. So you can tell that you're getting dehydrated because there is no moisture coming out of you. So just make sure to drink plenty of water. My number 2 tip, lose weight. Start working on it right now. Here is my reasoning. It is way easier to handle 115 degrees heat when you don't carry extra weight. And here in Arizona, you will be living a very sedentary life. You're gonna be driving everywhere, to the grocery store. I even drive to the mailboxes sometimes if it's too hot, for example. I will drive to the mailboxes. And number 3, always explore and enjoy Arizona. Learn about the desert as much as you can. The more you know, the more you will fall in love with it, and the more you will respect it. Read about it, observe it, and enjoy it. Love every little creature, love the sunrises, love the sunsets, love life in Arizona. Welcome.